wondering what happened last week, aren't you? I am too. I'll tell you what, it was a situation where there were several different things that occurred. All right, so first of all, I went to get dressed and I put on my necklace and I broke my favorite necklace. No big deal, right? It's not going to stop our live video. Then I'm sitting here in this chair and I normally have a light, like my other lights, hung up in the top next to the fan or underneath the fan. I'm sitting here and I hear this sound like crack and I look up and that light fell and hit me right here in the eyebrow. Didn't hurt me other than, well, it hurt. I wanted to cry, but I didn't because I already had my makeup on. So I didn't want to cry, right? But it did really hurt and I thought that's no big deal, right? Then I'm making sure everything is all set up and I always start an hour before we start our video. Well, all of a sudden, everything flickered with a power surge and the electricity went off. And I think it was off maybe 30 seconds and it popped right back on. But my computer didn't. And I tried everything I know how to do. I'm not a techie person, but my husband is, but he was at work, right? So I called my husband and we are trying to get it set up on my other computer. That won't work. And then we finally got it set up and there was no sound on the other computer. Then you have to have a stream key to use my software, broadcasting software that I use. Well, the stream key wasn't going to work. And finally he goes, you know, Sarah, it's 3 minutes till it's time to start. I think you better reschedule. Well, I cried and then I laughed and then I thought, oh, well. Now, if you want to know who won the book from Kristen Omdahl, Crochet Power, I did an announcement on Wednesday morning, just a real quick, I think the video is 7 minutes at most, and it has the winner there. But I'll tell you again who the winner was. Let me see, I wrote it on this piece of paper. The winner was Kimberly Westervelt. And I contacted Kristen Omdahl. She told me she's already sent it to her. And she sent it as a PDF download. And that is so cool because she sent it to me to review. And again, if you want to know about the book, I think it's, let's see, for the first Tuesday of the month of July, we talked about the book. It has everything you could possibly want to know about crochet in it. All the basics, how to read patterns, how to read graphs and diagrams. And she's got lots of good illustrations. And it's laid out really nice. And it will give you crochet power. It will give you the power to not be afraid to try new things and understanding a lot of things that maybe we didn't understand. And I love her style because I understand everything that she's talking about. So anyway, that's who the winner was. Now, before we get any farther along, we need to clink in. And it is hotter than hot here, okay? We've been breaking records here. And if y'all don't remember, me and my husband and my son and his wife and their daughter all moved down to Mustang, Oklahoma. I love the name of this little town. It's just right outside Oklahoma City. And we do a lot of things in Oklahoma City as well. It's just wonderful to be back in Oklahoma. But the weather is not what I'm used to. You know, I lived in Colorado up at like, I don't know, 6,000 feet. And every evening it would cool off, even though it was warm in the summer. And we can enjoy being outside. I don't like to sweat, and I'm having to sweat. And I'm taking a whole lot more showers. But I do love being down here because my daughter and her husband are here with our other 2 grandchildren. And so I get to have Wednesdays now with all 3 of my grandkids until school starts. And then when school starts, we'll have to, you know, figure all that stuff out. But also, my grandson's in marching band. My granddaughter's in honors choir. And my other granddaughter is looking for, they've been trying out some different gyms for, she does gymnastics. And so it's just super fun to get to spend time with all three of them. And it's good for cousins to be together. I didn't get to grow up with my cousins at all. And I met some of them as I got older, but I just didn't get that time. And I think that's super duper important. Okay. So just in case you don't know, we moved. The other news is we're going to be moving again. We're in a rental house right now, and we made an offer on a house, and I'm real excited about it. We were gonna buy some land and build a house, but we decided to just try to find a house that already had a pool. And we found this house. It's a little bigger than this one that we're in. The rooms are bigger, so I'll have a bigger yarn room. This one is quite cramped, actually. And it looks like we'll be closing towards the middle or end of September on that. So that will be super fun. And I love the backyard. It has a whole bunch of plantings. It's got cannas and calla lilies and a whole bunch of different flowering plants. And y'all know I love gardening. And I'm looking forward to getting in there. There's on the side of the house, there's a bunch of roses. Y'all know I love roses. So if everything works out, once we get in there, I'll do a walkthrough with y'all so you can see what we're going to do. Okay? So during that week, of course, there may be a few less videos or whatever, but we'll still have some fun and still have some things. And like I try to do, I plan things ahead of time, and I may pre-record and do some scheduling. All right? Just a little info to let you know what's going on. And we're still waiting on the confirmation for the buyers for our house that's in Colorado. And it'd be great to have everything all buttoned up, because I told my husband, I said, we've been kind of living in limbo. I mean, we're doing great, I've had a few, moments where I'm kind of, not melancholy, because I sort of miss my house in Colorado, and I loved living there. And it was a great adventure getting to live there for 10 years. And now we're back home in Oklahoma, and I'm glad for that too. But change can be hard, and I'm usually pretty good about it. I mean, I lived the military life. We moved all the time. We raised our kids as, Air Force brats. They were great. Good brats. But anyway, we're ready to get resettled, and get in a home of our own. We have wonderful landlords here. They've been great, wonderful people. So anyway, it'll be good to get settled. Okay, so I forgot to clink in. I said I was going to, and I forgot. So I'm drinking iced orange chocolate coffee today. And you can see most of my ice has melted. It's okay. It's scrumptious. I told you about this coffee a few weeks ago. You can find it there if you want to find it. It's 2 weeks ago on our live video, the coffee that I purchased, the orange chocolate. Before we get started in our conversation about what is Crojo, I wanted to show you something my daughter picked up for me. Now, I still have not unpacked all of my boxes for my craft room. I don't have my sewing machines out or my serger. I don't have my fabrics. I don't have all of that kind of stuff out. I even couldn't even find, excuse me, I clear my throat. I even couldn't find my buttons, which I did find. I haven't found my glue guns, and I can't find my yarn winder. They packed everything up in kind of an odd way. Nothing's where I thought it should be. I found the placemats in with the bedroom stuff for the kitchen. The placemats for the kitchen's in with the bedroom stuff. Some of the towels were in with the dog stuff. And I still never found the dog's water bowl, so I had to go buy another one. So anyway, I haven't found my yarn winder. My daughter picked this up for me. This is a Knit Picks ball winder. Look what it says. Life just got easier. And one thing that's really cool about it is it's purple. I haven't put it together yet. I wanted y'all to see it. So I haven't put it all together yet. This is a manual winder. It's the kind that you hook up to the table, and this is the kind I like. There's a donut over there. I do not care for the electric ones because they scare me. They go too fast. If you get a knot or a tangle or something, you know, you just can't do that. And so this one is from Knit Picks. Now, if you want one, I looked online. These are on sale right now, and they're not paying me or anything like that to tell you about them. This is just a style that I like. Super easy. The center of it has this thing that goes here for your yarn. Anyway, I just haven't assembled it yet. Okay, so you can get these on Knit Picks, and I was going to show you www.knitpicks.com. Go to their website, and they're on sale for $13.99 right now. I looked at it this morning, and it looks like they're all purple. They didn't have any other colors that I saw. And I love this because I like to I hook it to the counter in my kitchen, okay? Then I can stand and wind my yarn. I do wind it in balls sometimes. As you can see from behind me, I don't put all my yarn on yarn cakes. I just do it when it's like less than half. That way I can, because I have a container, a tub, and when I wind it into cakes, then I toss it in this tub and I use it for my scrap happy projects. Okay, but I really love this kind. It has a thing that hooks to the counter, has that thing there I just showed you. Like I said, I haven't put it together yet, and you just wind it. And you can do it as fast or as slow as you want. Okay, and it doesn't make like enormous cakes. It just makes, you know, average size, and I love it. And I wanted to tell you all about it. My daughter picked this up for me. She actually picked it up off of an Amazon. They have a place where you can go pick up Amazon things that were not picked up, and you can buy them inexpensively. She only paid $5 for it. And I was super excited when she texted me. She goes, I got me one. There's another one. You want me to get it for you? I'm like, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to set that down there. But they're on sale right now at Knit Picks for $13.99. And I think they're regularly $19.99, which actually isn't that much because the one that I have that was gifted to me was $35, if I remember right. Okay, and I don't even remember what brand it was, but it looks just like that one, only it's just all, I think it's all one color. So anyway, I wanted to tell you about that. Now, we have a lot to talk about today. One of the emails that I got, not this week, but last week, all it said was, help me. I've lost my Crojo. And what your Crojo is you've lost your desire to even crochet. And when I messaged her back, I said, what's going on? Because I understand I have lost my Crojo at times as well. And I know that's hard to believe because I love yarn and all things crafty, all things crochet. I love it all. And she said, she said, I'm in a funk. I have lost my desire to even look at yarn. And so I want to give you some ideas of some things that you can do when you find yourself in this spot. Okay. Because I have. And I know it's hard to believe, but I think we've all been to a place sometimes where we've just lost it. Okay, so Crojo means you've lost your motivation or desire to even crochet. Okay, you're not alone. I'm sure we've all been there. So here's some things that you can do. Take a break from yarn and crochet type crafts, but don't stop crafting. Do something else. Learn how to watercolor, learn how to do diamond painting, or even go from crochet to knit. Sometimes that helps. Just doing something different that is creative. I do all kinds of things. Sewing, embroidery. I can't do cross stitch anymore because I can't handle the teeny tiny needles because I have too much arthritis in my fingers, especially my thumbs. And I think that's just from holding projects. So anyway, do something different, but don't stop being creative. All right. Another thing you can do is take a break from craft things on social media. And what I mean by that is, if you're like me, I go to Pinterest, I look at everything crochet. I go to Ravelry, I look at everything crochet and knit. And I go to all these groups and I'm looking at all the fun things everybody's crocheting. And sometimes it can feel overwhelming. It can feel like it's just too much. Don't go to those sites. Okay, go to some different ones. You know, on YouTube, there are wonderful tutorials on how to watercolor paint, how to regular paint, and how to do other crafty things, not just with yarn. And there are a lot of other crochet, not crochet, but craft things that use yarn as well. There's crewel work and embroidery, but also there's just tons of crafts out there that you can make using other things, not just yarn and crochet. Okay, so get on YouTube, put in crafts, and see what else comes up besides that sort of thing. It just gets your mind in a different way. Instead of, I know for me, because I crochet almost every single day. I try not to on certain days, but I still just do it. I can't help it. It's like I have to do it or I'm not happy. I cannot sit down and watch a show unless my hands are moving and are busy. And it also helps me keep from eating too much M&Ms and popcorn, which is my favorite thing to eat. Okay, so another thing you can do is what I call change your view. Okay, so what that means is get out of your craft room for a while. I know it's super duper hot. Go on a walk. Okay, go in a different part of the store. Don't go to the craft department or the yarn department. Go someplace else. Look at the furniture or look at all the clothing. Although every time I go to a store that has clothing, I'm looking for ideas to crochet. So, but there's lots of fun things you can do. Go out to coffee with your friends. Go out to lunch. Spend time with family and friends. Go to the dog park. Okay? Or just walk around. One of my favorite things to do is to go to the mall and watch people. I like to watch them because they're just so silly and they do silly things, You can do stuff like that. Just get out of the normal routine of what you do. I have a routine of what I do every single day. I get up, I take the dogs out, I bring them in, I feed the dogs, I make coffee while they're eating, then I wash their paws from being outside. And, it's just like a routine of everything that you do every morning. My dogs eat at the same time every day and stuff like that. That's a great idea. Beverly says she goes shopping for clothing for her grandkids. I love buying things for my grandkids. I buy them these things. They're called Squishmallows. They absolutely love them. They're just like round squishy pillows. We have Squishmallow fights and stuff, throwing them at each other. Go shopping, okay? There's lots of things that you can do. Another really cool thing that you can do, my daughter-in-law bakes cakes that are just amazing. You can get online and learn how to do some cake decorating or make some cakes, cookie decorating. And I realize this time of year, everything's super hot, unless you live, in, Australia, New Zealand, that area where the weather's the opposite. It's cold there. In this rental house that we're in, I have a gas oven and it heats the whole house up. And I'm not doing any baking right now. We've been living off sandwiches. But that's something else that you can learn to do. There's just so many things. Another suggestion there is make jewelry. I make a lot of my jewelry. Most of the earrings that I wear and the necklaces, I've made them. There's lots of things you can do. Okay, another thing that you can do that has to do with your craft room is to declutter. Sometimes I walk in here, especially in this one because it's so much smaller than my one that I had in Colorado. Everything's like right up in my face. Declutter. Even if that means giving away a bunch of yarn or a bunch of projects, just give it away, or have a garage sale and sell a bunch of stuff. Just declutter. Get rid of all those things that make you feel like you're all in. Okay? That's a great idea. Cheryl says she lost her Crojo and I took everything out of the craft room and reorganized it. It took me a week and a half, but it sure did work. That is an excellent idea. And that goes along with declutter, reorganizing, and you can take out the things that don't work. There's another great example, soap making. I did that one year for Christmas. I made soaps for all of my friends, and then I made little baskets with crochet washcloths. Well, I'm back to crocheting again, but I can't help it. I love crochet. But anyway, that's another great craft that you can do, and it's not hot. Okay? When I did my soap making, I used the microwave, not the stove top. Which you're really not supposed to, but I did. You know me, I do things my way. I don't follow the rules. Okay, so there's some more good ideas. Then, once you've stepped away and giving yourself a break. When you come back in and want to crochet, don't pick up this huge blanket pattern or this huge project. Start with some small things. Make some washcloths that you can give away. You know, make some those little ammies. They're so cute. Those little bumblebees and little things like that that you can make. And they're super fun. And when you make something small, I'm getting dry again. When you crochet something small and it works up quickly within a few hours or so, there's great satisfaction in that. And that's what you can do. Get back into it by making smaller things. Another thing I love to do, yes, I am a rebel, Stephanie, I am a rebel. Another thing that you can do that always cheers me up is to go into your local favorite yarn store, whether it be Hobby Lobby or a local yarn store or maybe just Joann Fabrics, and go back in there. And it's great at the change of the seasons because a lot of the stores, Michael's, Joann's, and Hobby Lobby, they've gotten rid of a lot of summer type stuff and they're bringing in new yarns, especially in the fall. There's lots of new yarns to look at. I love to pick them up and feel them, and don't tell anybody, but sometimes I even put them on my face. See how soft they are? I do, because I love new yarns and I love to think, ooh, what can I make with this? And then it gets your creative juices going again and you can make something fun. And I know sometimes, you know, you finish a huge project and you're just burnt out and you need to take a break. And I usually take a break after a big project with a small project. And that's why you'll see on my YouTube channel that I have all sorts of kinds of projects. I don't like to stick to one genre. When I first started crocheting, I mean, I've been crocheting for over 40 years, and so I don't want to talk about it, but I'm old school. I do things the way they did 40, 50 years ago because I learned old school style. And it cracks me up. A lot of these new crocheters come in, they're like, oh, I have a new pattern. Honey, that's been out for 40 years. You know, it's okay though. I don't care. You know, have fun with it. So anyway, don't let yourself get all bogged down. And we're getting ready to head into fall. And what that means is lots of projects for Christmas and holiday celebrations, gifts. It's just that time of year when we go back in to making a lot of crochet items. Okay, let me read what this one says. Right. Okay, so she says, Marcy says, I try to find new materials to get me excited again. And that's what I do too. That's why I like to go in the fall and fill all the yarn and see all the new things that are happening in yarn. Because I say this all the time, crochet is an ever-changing art. It's never the same. New stitches, old stitches renewed. You know, I was kind of laughing the other day because someone said, I don't like the new stuff. I do not want to do a foundation double crochet. I'm like, I learned foundation double crochet years ago. It's just become popular again. It's not new. It's just new to you. And so there's a lot of fun things out there. Learn a new stitch, learn a new technique, learn a new style, a whole new stitch pattern. You know, work with some yarn you've never worked before. Because for me, I can get excited about crochet again when I'm challenged, when there's something new to try, you know, and so that's a lot of fun for me. Okay, so if you've lost your Crojo, get back out there and have some fun. There are tons of crafts that you can do that even if you don't want to crochet, but I'm just saying tons of things. Don't stop being creative. And then when you're ready, get back in with some smaller projects. All right? So I think I've covered most of my notes. Don't forget, another way to get back in is to garden. To me, when I'm out in the garden, I don't know what it is about, it's just like peace and serenity. And I miss my garden from Colorado. And those of you who saw what I did with my garden, my container gardens, it was just such a wonderful thing for me. And I'm really looking forward to next spring. Now, I won't be able to do any gardening this year because this house does not, you know, I didn't want to tear up the backyard. and make a garden. You know, and I didn't have enough room to do any pots. I have a couple of plants in the house, you know, like philodendron and stuff like that. But next spring, I am going to have so much fun if it works out with this house that we're buying, because it has lots of gardening opportunities back there, and I'm super excited about it. And because gardening is another one of my loves. I love to garden. And it doesn't have to all be vegetables. This is a lot of tropical. There's a big banana tree back there as well, and I'm just really excited about that. And I will take you all along with me on this journey, okay? All right. So, I know we're almost out of time, but let's talk a little bit about what we did this week. Now, yesterday, you can see over here, I've got these 2 headband ear warmers. And I'm doing 3 projects for our back to school. I'm calling it School Spirit Projects. And these are projects that you can do. And one other thing I want to remind you is that if you do fall markets or sales, doing items in school colors for me in the past have always been great sellers. Now, I don't do them very much. I am planning on probably doing a big sample sale this year. My friend next door, she goes to the farmer's market every Saturday. I think it's just like 8 to noon on Saturdays, and sells her crochet items. She does beautiful work. She did this beautiful pink flamingo that is just gorgeous. She does all kinds of amies and things, does really well. And I'm thinking about doing a sample sale this year, because I didn't realize until we moved how much items I actually have that have been in tubs for a while that people might like to have. And I'll sell them really cheap and stuff like that. And so I'm thinking about doing that at the farmer's market here in Mustang, because it's a really neat thing. And I'm going to talk with her about getting information on that. But anyway, if you do fall sales and market sales in the fall, school colors sell great. And I've had great response with that when I was doing that in the past. And it really has been 10 years since I've done one. So it's going to be kind of a new experience for me again. And so we designed this headband ear warmer in some school colors. And you can use any colors that you want, but you don't even have to use stripes. You can do it all in ombres or whatever. It's a really great ear warmer. And, you know, if your kids play sports outside or marching band like my grandson, or they just want hats for school. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, it's a really great item to make. Now, we're also going to do what I'm calling the School Spirit Beanie, and it's going to have 4 sizes. And then we're also doing a cowl to go along with it that you can wear as a short cowl, or you can extend it long and make it longer so that it can be a set. One thing I really do want to reiterate, and they're really strong about this here, is that we don't do anything that is copyright, because you can get in trouble for selling copyright items such as Disney or Star Wars or any of those things. Those are not acceptable. And so make sure when you do those things that you're not doing copyright protected items. When I first started doing this years and years ago, I checked into trying to find out how I can do that sort of thing. And if you want to get permission, it costs about $10,000. And I'm not exaggerating. And so be really careful doing anything that is a copyright protected unless you have permission, because you can get in a lot of trouble. Okay, I just want to reiterate that with sales and online or at farmers markets. You just have to be super duper careful not to do that sort of thing. All right, the other thing that we did this week was the owl. I love this sweet little owl pillow. And it's a little rectangle pillow, and I love the way the shells work. And this was our Scrap Happy. This is Woodsy the Owl. This was July's Scrap Happy pattern, and it's super cute. It's not very big. And I have some more pillow patterns that I'm going to do that are kind of like this. And I'm really excited about this because we've been just doing a little bit of designing, just trying to get prepared because we weren't really sure about moving and houses and all that, like I said. But he's really cute. That's Woodsy the Scrap Happy Owl. And also remember, any of the items that I show you that I have designed, these are my designs. And I don't do other people's items. I don't do other people's crochet patterns. I have done my daughter's a couple of times with permission, and I might do some of those in the future with her permission, but I'm not going to do other designers' items because that's also copyright infringement. And plus, I don't want to take away from what they're doing, because in my opinion, we're not in competition. We're all in this together, and I want them to succeed as much as I want to succeed. I always say I'm your cheerleader. So anyway, when you're looking for the items that I show, after the video, you can go to that description box under the video, and you will see the links to the School Spirit headband ear warmer. You'll see the link for the owl. And then the other thing that we did, I'm going to click this other camera real quick. I know we're running low on time. And this is what we did for Friday Fun Day. This is a wrap that you can make to tidy up your cords. And I love this because I can color coordinate my cords and make them neat and tidy. And I have some that I've done all in black for like behind the TV and all of that stuff. And it just makes it nice and neat. It's a super simple pattern from our Friday Fun Day on Friday. And then the last thing I wanted to show you was the sweet fruit bag. Isn't that cute? This is called Bars and Shells, and you're doing shell stitches with the front posts. And this shell stitch is 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then we have the bars of the front post. And then you use this tassel, and it's really a neat idea because it completely comes off, and you can either slide it over or you can wrap it around to keep the top of your bag closed. Let me put that on there. Or you can just put it around one of the handles. And so it's really neat. I made it with the sweet roll. Let me put this under the other camera. I think it'll make it a little easier for you to see real quick. So move those out of the way. This is the bag. Super cute with a nice tassel, or tussle as my grandmother always said. And this is what sweet roll looks like. This is the, I think this is blueberry. Yep. And I have another one, but I've got a project going with that one. So a project we're going to have. So, and that's the bag. It's really fun to make, and I really, really love it. So, and so that's our projects for this week. Whew, that was a lot to talk about, wasn't it? Well, I just want to thank you all for being with me this week. And, you know, sometimes things happen where we can't meet for our podcast. And so when we get to, I always like to give you just so much information and so much fun. Next week, I'm going to show you a couple of ways to hide your stitches when you're doing projects. How to hide them on the backs of things. And where did I find the square buttons? Walmart. They had a big bag of them, all different shapes. Stars, squares, triangles, circles, octagons, hexagons, and all different sizes. A great big old bag. I think it was like $6.99. That was for the buttons, Kimberly. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to just do some hiding of your stitches next week. Not just weaving in, but hiding your stitches on the backs of things. I've had several questions about that, so we're going to talk about that next week on our Coffee and Crochet with Sara podcast. And with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Whoops. There we go.